Thank you to our 4 sponsors for supporting our podcast: Johnny Russell's Art Caterers and Milktown Pies, Alexander Great's Law, Jez and Lisa's Spoonful of Sweets, and SPE Furnishings. Links to their websites are available in the show notes and on our website. Don't forget to subscribe to get all the latest episodes as soon as they're released.
Good setting tonight, Gav. There's quite a few coming on. There's plenty of people walking past us, going up to the bar. Hassan comes into ball. Good length ball. Francois plays the shot through towards long on and runs through for one. You having a few pints, Gav? We can't do whilst we're working.
Not really. Not very professional, Jez, but I'll play the game if you will. Coming into ball to parry. Oh, it's down leg side. He goes for a sweep, goes for a swipe. Keeper misses it. They run through for one. Third man comes round, does the fielding, throws in on the one bounce to the keeper.
The score to 49 for one off 7.5 overs. Hassan, the end of his mark. Francois looks a little bit tired. He's just remarking his middle stump. The bowler comes into ball. 4 defensive to very short cover, no run. Good to see the ice cream vans here, Gav. It might get some hammer later off us.
Yeah. I hope Benedicci's brought his wallet.
Hassan at the end of his mark. Into ball. Francois plays a great, extravagant cover through extra cover. Only for one. The fielder is situated out on the edge, and it's just one. 52 for one off 7.5 overs. Hassan into ball. Parry, a great shot down towards the deep mid-wicket boundary. Even with a deep mid-wicket and a long on, it goes for 4. It's 4 runs to Parry. 1 ball left in this over. It's Parry on to 19 off only 14 balls. Looks to be fit again, Gav. I don't know what you think. There's no limping going on.
Yeah, absolutely not. No, it looks absolutely fine.
Hassan into ball. Parry facing. A little flick that he's trying to play through extra cover, which has got a bit of a leading edge, and it's back towards the bowler, Hassan. The end of the over, 58 for 1 off 8. Lowerhouse having elected to bat against the East Lancs first 11 T20. How are you finding this, Gav?
Yeah, all right. Yeah,
bit of fun.
Yeah, a bit different. A few technical problems earlier, but we seem to have been through those. So the sub-professional Danusha's going to bowl his second over from the car park end. Francois on strike. Looks as though there's going to be some field changes. So on the offside, they've got a point, an extra cover, third man, a deep cover who's probably 3/4 of the way out and a long off. Francois goes for a reverse sweep. Oh, and it's beat third man. It's gone for 4. It's a great shot from Francois. It's one of his favourite shots. Plays that very well. It's very effective. It certainly has been tonight. That takes a score on to 60 for 1. And it's been an excellent start for Lowerhouse.
Reverse sweep, Gav. Did you ever try one in your career?
I did once at Ramsbottom, and I'd never practiced it before, and I fell over, and everyone laughed.
Really, I wonder why they laughed. Prob comes into ball, short of a length. Frankie's on the back foot, a late cut down to deep point and scampers through for a single. Stephen Parry gets through no trouble whatsoever. 61 for 8 off 8.2 overs.
In comes the pro. No fun at ball. Parry goes inside out, plays it down to long off just for the single. Don't want to put the mockers on Lowerhouse at all, but I probably will. But it's been pretty plain sailing so far for these two. In comes the pro again to France. It's a straightish ball. He works it out to short fine leg. Just for a single, comes through. Takes the score on to 63.
Yeah, it's a good foundation, this, Gav, I think. You know, when you look at the batting that we've got, that Lowerhouse have got to come. Danusha into ball, left arm round the wicket. Another reverse sweep. Somehow, it seemed as it looked like it hit the back of the bat and squirted out. Well, Stephen Parry was facing, squirted out to a short, fine leg where the fielder has fielded it and 1 run. 64 for 1 off 8.5. Into ball. Little flick off the pads from Francois. Down to deep mid-wicket. 1 run. 65 for 1 off 9. Going quite well, this, Gav. I hope people are enjoying it. Give us a shout on Twitter if you think that this is worthwhile doing in the future. As we said, a few technical issues, but I'm sure we can iron it out. How are you finding it, Gav?
Yeah, it's like you say, a bit of an hectic start, and we're learning on the job. But yeah, it's pretty enjoyable. Just trying not to sort of speak over one another, really. And it's one of them. No doubt I'll have a few dead arms by the end of the night from you, Jez.
Yeah.
Is it change of bowling at the Liverpool Road end? I think that might be terrible scene. I'm struggling to see who that is. I'm not sure who the change of bowling will be for East Lancs.
I think it could be James Westhead.
Right.
Oh my God, the sight screens are wobbling about here. The one near us nearly tippled over. Let's hope it's not the one with the camera on.
Well, there's a bit of dancing in the dark, belting out from Joe Beneducci, our resident DJ.
Say that last 15 minutes, particularly after Jack Grealish and Jared Bowen.
Oh, there we go. Well, into Francois, who works it into mid-wicket. It's gone into the deep. They've ran the first one quick. They've come back. They go for the second, and they make the ground easily. They ran the first one quick there, and they made it the second pretty easily in the end. Good running from this experienced pair. Takes the score on to 67 for one. Westhead coming into bowl on the back foot. Works it out to long on. Francois just goes through for the single, thrown in on the bounce. Looks like it's filling up nicely, Jez.
Yeah, there's quite a lot coming on. We've just had this is technology, Gav. We've had communication from our number one scorer, that the bowler is Ellie Smith.
Ellie Smith. Well, there we go. Thank you very much, Stuart. You're a good man. Smith comes into bowl to Parry, who's on the back foot. Plays it out towards long off. They come through for a single. Seems to bowl his first couple of deliveries a bit on the short side, Jez. The batters have had enough time to play off the back foot, but he comes in again. Francois advances down the wicket, plays a big drive all along the floor, down to long off again, but it's only a single. Not found the boundary in this over, not for the lack of trying. A bit of a field change there, but we can't see for the side screen. In comes again. Down the wicket is Parry. Plays it out to extra cover. He's on the edge of the circle. Cheno Edges bets there, the East Lancs skipper, trying to save the boundary and also, trying to save the one. But if they both go, it's a single. He's in again. Francois down the wicket, back to the bowler. Not a bad over there, really.
It's a good over that. It looks a youngish off spinner, very tight and kept Lowerhouse down. 71 for one off 10 overs. Change of bowling from
games to me.
Change of bowling from the pavilion end. Coming on to bowl is Adil Mohammed. Looks like a seam bowler. Right arm seam. He's using. He's got the number 14 on his back.
Comes into bowl. Parry on strike. It's a full length delivery outside off stump. Opens the face of his bat. Goes to work it down to third man, and it's gone for four. Great shot from Parry there. Used the pace of the ball. It was a full wide one from the new bowler. And like I say, just opened the face of the bat there. Probably third man only had probably 15 yards to go, but couldn't make it in the end. That takes the score on to 75 for one. Back at the end of his run-up was Mohammed running into bowl to Parry. Short and wide, outside off stump. And it's a great shot. It's a cut shot from Parry. He really did get hold of that. Through backward point. And it's probably come back 5-10 yards back off the boundary. That's a great shot of authority there from Parry. These two really are starting to look in control. 10 overs left. 9 wickets in the 10th. Comes back into ball. Oh no, he's lost his run-up. Apologises to everybody. I think that might have been Beneducci's fault on the still playing the music. Running into ball to Parry. It's wide again. Plays and misses. Taken by the keeper. He takes the bails off, but it doesn't look as though he's come out of his crease. There was no appeal. Good work from the wicketkeeper there. Good, quick, fast hands. Might have been a shape away there, Blake. Jez.
I think he was. Yeah, it looks like he's...
might have been the wind, because it's going that way, isn't it?
Yeah. Mohammed into ball. Good length ball, parried on the back foot. Gently pushes the ball out to cover, no run. 79 for one off 10 overs. It's a good start to the over here, Gav, for Lowerhouse. Do need to maybe up the ante a little bit here with up it down. Adil into ball. Parry leaves the ball alone. Plays a shot outside the off stump and it's straight through to the wicket keeper. Adil Mohammed, the end of his mark. People just walk behind the sight screen for fun. It's crazy. Stand a good match.
It's a full toss. It's hit by Parry out into the offside down to cover. He's probably 10 yards off the boundary. It's only 1 though. And looks as though end of over there. That's 80 for 1 with 9 left.
You can generally, we will generally work out T20 scores, Gav, I think, in the Lancashire League or at this sort of level. Once you get to 12 overs gone, you can generally double it if there's a few wickets down. So I think Lowerhouse are looking at a good 150, 160 score here, which would obviously be a decent score.
Smith comes into bowl, Parry on strike. Goes to play the late cut. It's gone pretty fine. Third man's in the circle. He manages to get hold of it. He's come back for 2. Good fielding there. Looked to be short and wide there. He rocked onto the back foot, did Parry. Bit of a cut shot, went quite fine. Didn't get all of it, but he's come back for 2. So in comes Smith. Parry comes down the wicket, hits it straight, and that's gone for 4.
That's a great shot, that. Dead straight, just slightly towards the onside, but no one's going to stop that with even a long on and a long off out. It's a great shot, that, Gav.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more, mate. In Smith again. Parry goes for a cut. The batters nearly collide in the middle. They just come through for 1. This is Francois on strike.
Someone's rocking the van.
Well, Lowerhouse fans are rocking the van. Comes Smith again to Francois. Francois goes on his back foot, works it into the leg side, through a vacant mid-wicket, just for the 1 though. It's a bit of a strange field, really. Just to explain it to the listeners, fine leg is pretty square. Backward of square leg is probably 20 yards outside the circle, and then they've got a straightish mid-wicket. Parry's down the wicket, goes for a big drive along the carpet though, down to mid-on, just for a single. So it's a bit of a strange field, really, on the leg side. Doesn't really seem something or nothing, really. But in comes Smith, running into the ball. Francois on strike. Oh, he goes for a slog sweep. That's over straightish mid-wicket for... Oh, there we go. It's the fielder's come round, collected it. It's only going to be 2. Looked like he clothed it a bit there.
Yeah, it did. The way he played looked like he was going to go into Lowerhouse lane, but he's obviously mishit it because he's broke his back. Francois is coming off the field after broken his back, and Francois is, I think he's 44. We can't see onto the scorebox. We apologise that we haven't got set up properly for that. But we had to connect to the Wi-Fi, Gav, so we can't have everything.
Beginners are beginners, Jez. That's the end of the over. Looks as though the pro's going to continue to bowl from the pro's still going to bowl from the car park end. Parry is on strike.
Oh, House Martins, Gav, those were the days.
Bit of happy hour building again.
Gav's pontificating that he can't see. You can see, Gav.
Where I am, I can't.
Just move your head.
Pro comes into bowl. Parry on strike. Inside out a little bit from Parry again. So just comes through for 1 there. 92 for 1. We have a very special guest for us. In joining is Chris Blizzard. So Pro's continuing to bowl. Francois on strike. Pro comes in. It's a short ball outside off stump. Cut straight to third man. Well, probably backward point, who's on the edge of the circle. It's overthrows. Come back for a second. So, Chris, how are you, mate?
Very well, Shieldsy, very well. Glad to hear you on the airwaves.
The old dulcet tones. In comes Dinush. Dinush on storm from the car park and comes into ball. Francois on strike. Straightish. He works it out through straightish mid-wicket. The man on the edge just comes through for a single. So what do you make of the start, Blaise?
It's been very good after the first couple of overs. Francois was missing a few to start with, but then he's taking his runner ball chances and hit a few boundaries as well.
Parry on strike. Pro comes in. Full ball. Defended. Calls him through for a quick single. The wicketkeeper comes round. They make the ground safely. Very good run there. They both responded to the quick call and they made it with no alarms.
Has made it very easy for Francois to come in and hit the boundaries from the ball 1, really.
Absolutely. He's Pro comes to ball.
Gav, it's just Adam joining in from home. Do you want me to come down and bring me glasses?
As they say in France, Adam.
Munch too.
Denisha comes into bowl again. Francois on full ball, played back to the bowler. Do you think they'll make any changes to the batting order, Blaise?
They haven't started to, really. I think Tom Walker might be next in, and he was still prowling around just outside the dressing room, so Not at the moment. Oakey was wandering around without his pads on, so I think it's still very much as planned.
It's a very attacking lineup, isn't it? I mean, they could probably draw names out of a hat, really. I mean, there's plenty of shot makers to come, isn't there?
Yeah, the only one is our venerable wicketkeeper, who will probably be lower down the order.
There's a change of bowling at the Liverpool Road end. Adil Mohammed has changed ends. He's coming on to bowl. Parry is on strike. There's a lot of hand signals going on from the East Lancs captain there. I don't know if there's a plane coming into land or...
I think he was just asking the DJ to be quiet, I think.
Or play some better records. Adil Mohammed coming running into bowl. It's a full toss, hit straight by Parry down to mid, long on, just for a single. Brings Francois on strike. What total are we looking at, Blaise?
7 overs to go. We're on 97. Got to be looking at least 150.
180, 190 possibly.
Yeah, it all depends, doesn't it, on these two.
Mohammed's come running in again from the Liverpool Road end. So another full ball. Cloth really, down to long on, just for a single. Parry on strike.
Gav, I've just sent you a link. We've only scored 185 times, so that'll be some doing if we do that.
Sorry, we've got some dick who keeps jumping in. But without that said fellow, we wouldn't be broadcasting now, so I'll take that back, Adam. I apologise.
The producer is getting in my ear.
Score is 99 for 1. Francois on strike.
Both in the mid-40s, aren't they? 49, I think, and a 43.
On into ball. It goes for the... Oh, no. Put some chalk on it, Francois, I think. He's gone to play the sweep.
Reverse paddle, I think.
Reverse paddle, and it's right on the Q end. He'll probably go and change his bat again. His bat is he using now, is it, or one of his own?
I think it's one of his own, yeah. Probably a slightly heavier one to get it over the boundary.
Mohammed back into bowl. Again, full and straight. He goes to play the same shot. Parry calls him through for a quick single. The shot that stumps from the keeper, but he misses. Good run in the end. That brings the 3 figures up for Lowerhouse. 100 for 1. Refreshments are being brought by John Wake to another guest. Whilst I'm parched, but we'll give that a miss. Mohammed comes into bowl to Parry. It's short. He plays it to the leg side. It's gone high into the leg side. Mid-wicket peddling back. Oh, he's misjudged it. He comes back for the second. It looks like he's blaming the sun, but he's looking in the wrong direction. And a bit of Benny Hill music played by Beneducci. Fantastic. At the end of that over, Lowerhouse are 102 for 1 with 14 left. Blaise, from your position there, can you see? Will it be Francois on 49?
Possibly Pazza, because I think Francois has just gone up to 45 on there.
Oh, okay, so Eli...
Frankie's on 49, Paz is on 45.
Okay, Eli Smith's a change of bowling. Eli Smith has come back on, but he's changed ends. He's coming back on from the car park end.
Going round the wicket.
Yeah.
To the short boundary.
Should be interesting. So while we're waiting for this over to come on, Blaise, do you miss playing 2020 cricket?
It was getting difficult playing 3 games in a weekend, but yeah, it was great when we first started. We were playing 2 games.
Smith into bowl, just swept round the corner from Francois for a single. So did you? Was it a case of stopped enjoying it, or the body wasn't capable?
Being sensible with the body, really, Gav, and trying to play the 2 games during the 50 over games rather than the bish bash of 2020.
Smith comes into bowl, reverse whack, I think I'd really describe it, from Parry. Misses it completely. The keeper does well to collect it. No run.
Francois has just gone to his 50 with that last shot.
Has he now?
Yeah.
Smith into bowl to Parry. Slog sweep's gone pretty straight out to long on, just for the single. So Francois has moved to his 50 off 48 balls with 4 fours. Bit of movement around the crease there from Parry. I think he's got himself into a bit of a muddle there, trying to play to the short boundary. Dot ball from Smith.
Just seems to have dried up the boundaries at the minute.
Yeah. Did you enjoy playing the 2020 though, Blaise?
Yeah, I thought it was really good. It was particularly when it first started and people didn't really know the rules. You could sort of, bat for it for a bit of a time and get your eye in before you went big, really. Now it seems to be trying to go from ball 1 using the power plays.
Smith into bowl, Parry on strike. What's shot ball? He's gone to round the corner. He's got a little bit. That's a great shot. That's gone for 4. It's a great shot from Parry. Was that taking him to 50? Yeah, Parry's 50 there has come off 37 deliveries. Had a couple of goals at that, varying in various guises in that over, Blaise, but he finally made contact and it's gone for 4.
I think he was trying to get to that short fine leg area for most of the over and just got it with the last ball.
Did you play any funky and fancy shots in the 2020, or did you just try and smash it like you used to?
Just trying to play normal shots, really, Gav, and try and rotate as much as you can as well as hitting boundaries. Try reduce the number of dot balls, I suppose.
Mohamed's still bowling from the top end, coming in ball for the first ball of his next over from the Liverpool Road end. It's a full ball, driven back,
straight and gone for 4.
Oh, so that's a great shot from Hasbro. It was a full length ball, gone through a straightish mid on, all along the floor really. He must have nailed it because long on didn't have too far to move, but he couldn't stop the 4 anyway. Back into ball, full outside off stump, played down to mid off for 1.
114 creeping up there. Good couple of last overs might take us to the 160 mark, Gav.
Oh, absolutely. I went back into ball, full length, parry straight as a die. 2 bounces, 4. That's a great shot. Again, straight pat bastard ball in the air. 2 bounces, 4. That'll take us on to 120 odd for 1. Looks like the bounces are going to start coming now, doesn't it, Blaise?
Yeah, I think they're going to go from here. Don't think there's going to be too many singles being run unless they're miss hits.
I went back into ball. It's a bit more straight. Oh, Perry's going after it. It's gone in the air. It's gone straight. Oh, it's a straight 6. Long on and long off. We're coming round.
Just about got over to the short boundary, but 6 is 6.
Absolutely. With a gale force wind, as Paul Sansfield quite rightly points out. And it's a full toss. It's just gone to mid-wicket, who's on the edge of the circle, just for 1. Brings Frankie through, who's now going to be on strike. Could be a fun last 4 and a bit overs, this, Blaise.
Yeah, I think we're going to be looking to go to the shorter boundaries from the car park end, and obviously we're going to the park from this end.
Oh, it's short from Mohamed. He pulls back. Oh, it's gone straight to deep mid-wicket. He's hit it pretty well, though, because he's only managed to get the 1 there. Some liquid refreshment being opened in the back there.
The 1, wow.
At Lords, it's champagne corks popping. Down at Lowerhouse, it's cans of bodies that are being opened. Thank you very much. Thanks, Jez.
Not on, Blaise.
No, I'm all right. Thank you, Jeremy.
Yeah, the score is 126 for 1 with 4 left. There may be a change of bowling at the car park end. Philip Aspinall, we believe, reliably informed by Stuart Weirden, who's coming on to bowl. Have you played against him, Blaise?
Not that I know of. It's a long time since we played East Lancs because them being in Division 2, so I don't know too many of their players. John Turner, obviously the captain, I know, but not many of the others.
East Lancs captain trying to get his fielders, the right fielders in the right positions. It must be a bit of an headache for captain's Blaise. Did you ever captain a 2020 game?
Not from memory, Gav. I can imagine it being very, very difficult to be able to get people in the correct places, for them to be able to get in the correct places as well, because sometimes they're a little bit unruly, shall we say, in the field.
Might need a sit down in a dark room after you captain a 2020.
Absolutely.
So Aspinall's coming into bowl. Francois on strike. It's full length ball played right back to Aspinall, so for no run.
Francois' first correct shot from a couple of overs.
I think his head's just stopped spinning round, Blaise, I think.
He's feeling a little bit precious about his bat being broken.
Running into ball. It's a bit short. Uses his feet, comes down the wicket, goes through to mid on, just for a mid off. Just goes through for a single. Brings Parry back onto strike. What would you be thinking, Blaise, if you were on strike? What would you be looking at? We struggle to see what the legs are feeling because of the start screens.
I can imagine Stephen just taking a couple of steps to the offside and trying to hit that short boundary on the leg side.
That's what comes into bowl. It's short and wide. It's a cut. Oh, unfortunately, it's straight at backward point. But Francois calls him through for a single. They both met the ground easily. It was a good run in the end. I think it was a bit unlucky there, Blaise.
Yeah, he'd obviously gone to look for the sort of square boundary and just picked out the fielder at backward point.
Yeah, I think half a yard either side it was 4 because there's nobody sort of behind, and deep cover wouldn't have been able to get around
anywhere near it.
Unless it's Usain Bolt. Aspinall running into ball at Francois. Shorter, sorry, it's a pull. How straight has that gone?
Man out mid-wicket, I think he's fumbled it, but they just jogged through for 1.
Single, that brings the score on. Is that 129, 130 now? Well, it's 1 at t'other. I don't think it will quibble for 1 run. Brings Parry on strike. Looking to play a shot of ball for obvious reasons. Aspinall comes in, Oh,
it's a great hit.
It's a great hit.
Into space, and it's gone for 4.
That's a great shot from Parry. Got his front leg out of the way, play through the line of the ball, straightish mid-wicket, between deep mid-wicket and long on. Probably cow, as Paul Stanek rightly says. Great shot. More great tones from our resident DJ, Joe Tubbs Beneducci.
Wind seems to be gathering a bit of velocity.
Aspinall, short and wide.
Tries that same shot again to backward point, hits the fielder again.
Changing comms, the legend Jez Hope's coming back on. Thanks very much, chaps.
Gavin, great work there. Fantastic. We're up to 79 listeners now, which is quite unbelievable when you think it's the first time we've done it and we're not sure what we're doing, to be perfectly frank. But I've come back on for the last 3 overs with a top fella who helps out on the Housecast a lot and is a real character, Paul Stanley. Hiya, Stanley, you all right?
Hello, Jez, how are you?
Yeah, we're all good, thanks. This seems a good start. Bowler comes into bowl to Francois outside the off stump. Yorker length, but quite wide, just scoops it out towards backward point. What's your thought of the scoring rate so far for this, Stanley?
I think, having what I've seen so far, Jez, and the way the wicket's put, I think it's a very good score already, to be honest. It's not a 6-hitting wicket, it's very low.
Right.
Batters haven't been able to get their arms under the ball, have they?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, no, you're right. There's not a lot of pace in it. The East Lancs bowlers coming to bowl, and it looked like a full toss. I don't know what you thought, Stan. It seemed like he was trying to bowl a big Yorker, and it's halfway up middle stump.
It was very full. He's trying to go over long on.
Yeah, and it had to be done. It was a great innings there. He scored 50-odd, 55, something similar. We should be listening to Stuart, I suppose, and because he'll tell us on the intercom. Are you've been on all the games, Stanley? I saw you earlier. It seems to be a well-paced innings, this.
It does. Like I said earlier, Jez, I do think it's a good score already. It just looks a very difficult pitch to hit sixes on, which is what 2020 is all about. But I think what Lowerhouse have done well, we've got this bat on plenty of deliveries. We've sort of hit the ball. We've made sure that we've connected, and the scoreboard's kept ticking.
Yeah, no, it's a good point.
Rather than missing.
Yeah, it's a good point. The track did look firm and looked like there were some runs in it, but as you said, I think it's a little bit slower than I initially thought. The new batsman to the crease is it Dean?
It's Dean Barlow, yeah.
Yeah, Dean Barlow's coming at number 4, 1-3-4 for 2 with 2 and nearly 3 overs to go. Dean plays a shot through towards mid-wicket where he scampers through for 1 and comfortably gets in. The field is obviously extremely spread with the 4 players within the 25-metre circle. Difficult to defend on here, Stanley, when it's so quick in the outfield.
Yeah, it's a big area, a lot bigger than what people think.
Yeah, it is. Into bowlers, a great piece of fielding down at long on. And Frankie's hit it wide long on, and the fielder's made a lot of ground to his right, collected the ball and got it in quickly, and they've only got 1 run. A little bit disappointing. I think they might have got 2 there, Stanley, but for what were you saying about Frankie's running?
It's slow.
So ideal into bowl to Dean Barlow. That's a great straight shot. I don't know if he's going to have enough on it. Oh, right, let me try and describe what's happened there. He's hit it towards long off, where the fielder's run round towards the sight screen. I think he's caught the ball, but then ran over the boundary edge and thrown the ball back on the pitch. So that's a great piece of fielding, if that's exactly what happened. It's a long way away, and my eyes aren't what they were. Ideal comes into bowl to Francois. It's another low full toss, but these balls are working, Stanley, these low full tosses.
Very hard to get away. They bowl well of East Lancs. I just think there were too many 4 balls on this sort of wicket. I'd like to think we are bowling attack. They'd really struggle to get us away on here.
Yeah, and I think so. And the way Ben's been captain over this year, he's really matured in understanding the fielding and the bowling. So I think. I think it's
Ben's word. He puts a great emphasis on putting the squeeze on teams.
Yeah, and the right time.
We are getting better and better at it.
Yeah, and also this batting philosophy of just staying in the game. And again, 2 wickets down. There's only 2 overs to go. You really go mental here. So no, it is. It's a great point, and I'm sure it'll be an interesting second innings. In the interval, we're going to have a catch up with the 2 legends who are in the room. Paul Stanley and Chris Blazer, just about the T20 and how they've found the last 15-20 years playing. It's the East Lancs Pro, Dinusha, into ball, left arm round.
That's a 12.
And that has gone miles. That has disappeared over a straightish mid-wicket. Quite a straight bat, I think, off Stanley.
It was, and I'm wondering if it should be called no ball from square leg, actually. It's probably hit that from above his hip, but it's landed on the top of the hill near the MKM building.
Yeah, I think it's it that sign hit Burnley for 6. Pro comes into ball. Francois down the wicket, is looking to work it mid-wicket. Bit disappointing. Knocks it straight back to the Dinusha, and it's no run. 144 for 2. 10 balls left. Dinusha into ball. Quite straight. And Francois, I think, is trying to sweep it, and it's hit his pad. No, the umpire, Duncan Warburton, has given a run. He must have hit it. And it's 1 run. 146 for 2. 9 balls left. Dean Barlow's just taken his guard. He's looking around the field. It's all obviously very set back. They've each length of 3 players inside the circle at backward point. Dean's had a big swipe towards mid-wicket and missed the ball, and the wicket-keeper's parried it towards third man. Just a little bit disappointing after that first 6 there, Stanley. We're going to struggle to get to.
It's always good to start an over boundary though in this game, isn't it?
Yeah.
You get 10 off the over straight away for first ball goes for 6.
Yeah, it takes the pressure off.
Yeah.
Inchar into ball. Another low full toss. Francois hits it towards extra cover, and they come through for 1. Dean Barlow wants to get 2, comes back down the track, but Francois sends him back, and he's back home. Only just, I think. But he is back.
I thought in the olden days.
Yeah, that was the one that's still on YouTube. If people want to check it out, I think Gary Morehouse.
I think Dean would have been run out by 21 yards there.
Yeah, I think he probably would. Inchar into ball. Dean Barlow tries to reverse sweep. Looks like it just hits his pad and then disappears down towards point for no run. What's your thoughts of the reverse sweep, Stanley?
It's all about context, isn't it? You know, it was. I can remember me and Francois having many arguments about it when I was team manager. But at the right time, now is the right time to play it, isn't it? I do think it's a great shot for manoeuvring the field. Some people just play it because they can play it, but if it's to me, it should be used to take a fielder from one place and put him in another.
Yeah, it's a good point. It would never happen when we played Stanley, did it? It was very, very rare. But as much as it frustrates some older spectators, it does. You know, it's so frustrating if the batter gets one right, the midfield everywhere. So it is something.
I've just got this vision of Stan playing a reverse sweep, landing flat on his face, Jez, I'll be honest with you.
We could have a full podcast about Stan and the reverse sweep. The last over, Smith into ball to Francois. Oh dear. The ball has, it's a bit of a half volley, quite wide outside off him. Francois should really have hit to school. He's made a half decent action, but doesn't seem to follow through. It goes
never
straight.
looked comfortable.
No, he didn't. Went straight to long off, just above his head. He's maybe a couple of yards in, and it seemed to go straight through his hand and land for 6. Unfortunate for the fielder. Smith into bowl to Housebrook. Another wide delivery along the floor to long on. 1 run. 154 for 2. 4 balls remaining.
Actually bowled quite well, Smith. He's bowled across the right-handers, hasn't he? And maybe it's sort of hard to get underneath.
Yeah, bowling round the wicket. Into bowl to Dean Barlow.
Yeah,
Dean's missed it, and he's bowled. He's bowled by Smith, bowling round the wicket, trying to open up his stance to hit it over extra cover, and unfortunately got bowled. 154 for 3 with 3 balls remaining. For the listeners, we're looking at having, it's only about a 10 or 15 minute break between innings, so we're going to have a catch up with Blaise and Stanley around the T20s and when Stanley was managed, and Blaise obviously played so many games for the club, what their thoughts were, some memories they've got, and what it was like when it first came in. Me and Gav will be chatting to them, and I'm sure we'll have our own memories around when T20 first came in. Tom, new batter?
Yeah.
New batter's Tom Walker, facing.
No, it's Joe Hawke.
It is Joe Hawke, yeah. We recognise him for his red boots. He's come down the track, tried to hit it over long on. He's missed the ball, and I'm quite sure it hit the side of his pad. But he's given the 2 runs. Smith don't look overly happy about it, but he's given
Davis, he'll play at the top end, isn't it? Sammy Davis from Bay
Sammy
Cup.
Davis Jr. He played at Bay Cup. Bleswell played against him. He was before my time, obviously. Into bowl, Smith. Joe Hawke swings from his backside, and the ball somehow trickles between Joe's legs towards the stop near to the wicket. Joe is halfway down the track. The wicketkeeper doesn't get the bails off in time, and Joe is back in his crease. 2 balls to go. 156 for
It's last ball,
3.
actually.
Oh, it could be last ball. Smith into bowl to Joe Hope. It's a lawful toss, and
Great
Joe's
catch, Owen.
lifted it down to long gone, and Joe's caught out. 156 for 4. End of innings. You were right, Stanley. End of innings. 156 for 4. That could give East Lancs a little bit of hope there with that last few overs, Stanley. I don't know what you think.
It could. I just think 1-6 in an innings like this, and we've got some quite. 2-6 Francois it up the full toss 6-30 on. I do think it's going to be a very difficult chase, Sean. If you ball straight on here, and every time you try to score, you're taking your life in your hands, really.
Gav's just come interrupting into the studio, interrupting about is there any more beer. You go in that cabinet, don't you, Chris?
Are those DVDs yours?
No, I found them. So, thanks everyone for listening. Please let us know what your thoughts are. If we can improve it, obviously the technicals we had at the start were difficult, but I think we've got our head around it. Adam Oak does a sterling job, whether it's remotely or when he's with us, to get the technical side of it up and running. It is live streaming on YouTube. I think I mentioned it earlier. So get on YouTube if you need to and listen to the second innings commentary. We're going to talk right through the interval because we can't turn it off, or else we might not be able to get back on. So that's why we're doing it. So we've got Gav and Blaise are now sat with myself and Stanley. If we can just have a little bit of a chat through with Stanley. You were a really successful manager for the first team. You went in when you finished your playing career and you threw everything into it. We talked about it on the Housecast. How did T20 fit into the strategies of the club?
Well, we struggled early on because Aaron Neal was the first professional that we took part in 2020, and Aaron was struggling full stop.
Yeah.
Then Francois came on, but we still felt we were a very young side. So it wasn't the sort of game where we'd Stan's sort of production line of young players playing properly.
Yeah.
So we were never going to be a good 2020 side initially, but it didn't take us long. It didn't take us long to sort of understand how to win games. And what did help us is when they brought net run rating, because that helped the bowling side.
Yeah.
If you're a good bowling side, you just felt the benefit as well as being a good batting side, because it just used to be straight run.
Right.
So you get some of the teams, and they'd have a run rate at the end of a competition like 12 and over, and we'd have 6, but we aren't the same points. Yeah. And when they brought net run rating, it helped us out a lot.
So just explain the net run rate for people who maybe don't understand.
Basically, if you say we play the first game and we scored 120, and we've gone at 6 and over, and then the team chasing scored 100, which is 5 and over, even net run rate of 1, and then that's calculated over your 5 games. So it actually benefits the bowlers as well as the batters.
Right. Okay. So that's for the league positions and anything.
If you level on points. And
Stan
was a massive advocate of bringing that in, because teams were shortening boundaries.
Right.
Teams like Ramsbottom were one of the first to work at it, and they were scoring like 230 against teams, and teams would score 220 against them.
Right.
Ramsbottom would win, but have a run rate of 10 and over.
So it's almost like an extra point.
Yeah. But they conceded 220, so they had to benefit the bowlers.
Yeah, right, that's interesting.
And that's when we got good at it.
Yeah, when you worked it out, right, yeah. And that's an interesting point you make, where Stan and our junior setup are bringing young lads through.
Yeah.
2020 is a difficult game to start playing in. Certainly Lancashire League against good players. These young lads are going to struggle when they come in. We just bring Blaise in there. I mean, what years we're talking here now?
The first season of 2005, because we got to the final when we had Macca.
Right.
But obviously we won the league that season.
Yeah.
But the 2020 of that was a straight knockout.
Yeah.
So teams were drawn like the Worsley Cup, and we ended up playing a couple of games at home. It was when Andrew was away with Victoria, so we had Alviro Peterson, because they'd got knocked out earlier then.
Yeah.
So he ended up sub-proing for us for 2 games.
Yeah, I remember
We got through to the final at Haslingden. Macca got 100 at Haslingden, we got 200, and they beat us off the last over to the first T20. So the rules were slightly different at that stage. I can't remember when it went to a league sort of say, but it probably were maybe another year or so before before everybody cottoned on to the fact that this was going to be a big sort of money sport for particular clubs who had done it well.
And it is, I do want to come on to the pressures on the players and the coaching staff and the not necessarily the spectators, but the scorers and umpires. But yeah, so 2015, so it's 17 years old now.
Yeah.
The T20 in this similar sort of format has been played. But I do remember there was, I think 2002, 2003, there was like us, Nelson, Burnley and Colne that played in a bit of a game. We played at Colne under some floodlights, if you remember once. Yeah.
2020, 2020.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was bizarre how they played 10 overs and 10 overs and 10 overs and 10 overs. But it's developed, and you're perfectly right, Blaise, that the way it is run now for the clubs, and there's a lot more doing it. It's a garden party. It's out there for people having a pint. Yeah, it has. Yeah, and there is not just money to be made, but there's community spirit to be built, and getting people down in one place with the children and watching cricket, or just having a pint. The odd one might, develop into a cricketer that never would. Can I just ask you though, Stanley, that there's some pressure on players and scorers and the managers and coaching staff. How is that managed at club level?
It is definitely a competition that you have to start well.
Right.
So if you lose that first game, and then lose the second game, it becomes harder and harder and harder. It just becomes a bind for everybody at the club.
Yeah.
It is one of them. It is one of them competitions. If you start well and you get that first win, that couple win, then there is something to start getting excited about, because it is, the competitive games. We start playing them semi-finals and finals. They're great games to play in. I mean, the Ramsbottom final down here, the Church final down here, are fantastic games to play in.
Yeah.
But and be involved in. I mean, I were only involved playing, but they're great to be involved in.
Yeah.
But that first couple of weeks and first few Fridays, getting everyone up for it, getting through them first two or three Fridays, that's the key.
Yeah. And it's Blaise, I know in the later stage of your career, you haven't played in the 2020 for 3 seasons? Maybe longer.
Yeah.
Before that, you would be playing at least 2 games over a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, sometimes 3. And I think on odd occasions, when it's a bank holiday, we're playing 4 games. That's not comfortable for an amateur.
That's not amateur.
You've got to have you have to have a team made up of young lads if you're going to do that, or lads who have got very understanding partners, because it's a big commitment. But it's for somebody like Lowerhouse, the Friday nights are a big business.
Yeah.
And not saying that they want to see good cricket, because a lot of people come on just for the atmosphere, and there happens to be a game on. But you do feel as though there's a bit of pressure on your form. You do feel as though
you need to be a good cricket. You need more of these Friday nights. That's what it's all
chicken
about.
and egg.
Yeah.
It is. It really is. It's difficult.
We talked about it as a positive for us. I can remember 18 months ago having a committee meeting where Stan was saying, we do it really well, but there are a couple of clubs who are really struggling the Friday nights, and the commitment from players and from volunteers, when they weren't making a great deal of money out of it, because they don't have the support net that we do and the volunteers that we do to put these sort of meetings on. And it was becoming a bit of a bind, and a few clubs were actually actively thinking about not putting aside into the competition. Couldn't raise the volunteers and the players to play it. So it's not all sort of
which
positive.
would be a shame, wouldn't it? If clubs couldn't do that. But I think the league would understand and wouldn't force clubs to enter competitions where they've got potentially 4 games over a 4-day period, or at least 3 games because of the T20s. Gav, going back to when we were playing and things were happening, I was never a big fan of playing on these Friday nights. I know it's old-fashioned, and I know it is the way forward. I fully embrace it now and want to see it, because it does bring revenue, brings junior cricket through, as certainly at Lowerhouse, as it has done over the last 4 or 5 years. How have you found it, Gav? How have you found over the last maybe 15 years around it?
I remember right at the outset when we had them fitters outfits. I was still in and around first team then, but I couldn't get on with it in 50 overs, never mind 20 overs. So I was more like as a squad player, just in case we had loads of dropouts because of work. So I never played in a 2020. But So I'm from a more social point of view, and it's got to the point where we have that many good, especially when the weather's good. From a local point of view, it's now a permanent fixture in people's diaries, and the amount of the local fan base, from Lowerhouse, from the Grove, and from Padiham and what have you, and they love it, and it just goes from strength to strength, and it really is the club that makes such an effort. There's never, I don't reckon, in the last so many years, we've played a 2020 down here, and the committee haven't made an effort to get a band on. Or something. They try and make an effort to try and get the people down, and I think the locals really appreciate it. And it's a really good atmosphere. I've never seen, very rarely do I see any bother at all. If you look at outfield now, there's plenty of kids playing. Sun's out. Parents have worked hard all week. This is what it's about, isn't it, in Sun?
Yeah, I agree, and that I think it's worth mentioning there, Gav. All credit to the organisers, the
Absolutely.
committee. Matt Stanley, the MD, for getting this to the stage it's at. And I know, if other clubs are listening, it might be, well, we're not up there yet because we haven't got those years. But it is something to strive to. And as you said, the band's on afterwards. Certainly when it's nights like this, it's fantastic. Let me just put this out there then to Stanley and Blaise.
Sorry, Jez, if I could just on that.
Of course you can.
Because and you'll all agree with me here. There are people who only come down to watch our 2020 nights who don't come and watch us at weekend.
Yeah.
So it's that now.
Has attracted people
Exactly. So it's not just because some other clubs might think we don't want to flog our membership. We don't want to the same people and hammer them, especially when things are tight. But it attracts its own group. Different people. And like I said, the amount of times where we get stopped out and about when 2020 stop, when it fixtures out, when this because they want to get it in.
A big sponsor here tonight as well.
Absolutely.
Big sponsor.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. It is a really good point. Let's just move on to the final question, really, from me, or the point I want to raise with Stanley and Blaise. We've got the churning of the junior players coming through. We've got some great amateurs. Why have we not done as well as I feel that we should have done over the last 5 years or so? When there are these T20 weekends where there's a lot of money to be had if we had it at home, but we just don't seem to get there. I don't know, Stanley, you first. Why do you think we've not been as successful?
It's difficult, Jez. I mean, you put that 11 players out every season, every Friday. So you put that 11 players out every Friday, and you'd expect them to win most games. We've always been in right groups. We've lost some silly games over the years. I know towards the end of mine and Charlie's time, we lost to Rottenstall, which we should have been beating. We lost to East Lancs in the quarter-final, and to Clan. Perhaps the side just wasn't right. It's 20 overs, a game can change quickly, and the side's just got to be right all the time, hasn't it?
Yeah, and tactically, I suppose, we were all learning then, and, a lot of luck comes into it when you're playing against the side and you're all very equal. Blaise, what's your thoughts on, why we've not had a T20 final day down here? Or
I don't think we've ever, in the last 4 or 5 years, I don't think we've had an explosive batting performance in big games, and that's let us down. Now, there are a number of reasons, why that might be the case. But, you'd expect 1 or 2 of our, better players to come off. And we just don't seem to have had that sort of performance where we've taken a game away from the best sides in the league. You're normally going to get 2 equally talented sides in the league. Generally, you may get 3, comparable sides. But normally there's 2 sides you look at the start of the group and say, this is going to be our big game, and if we win this game, we're in with a big chance. Yeah. And over the last 4 or 5 years, we haven't performed in that big game with the bat. Yeah. We've struggled to put a score on the board that's put a team away or put a team under pressure. And I think that's where we've let ourselves down. As a full team, amateurs and professional, we've just struggled.
And just finally on that point, I think what Stanley said right at the start of this conversation, we're blooding young lads to come through. So they're not going to go in and get a 60 or 70 and 20 or 30 balls. Anyway, the teams are back out. Lowerhouse are bowling. Tom Walker opening up the innings. Sorry, Joe is opening up the innings from the Liverpool Road end, and I'll hand over to Gav Shields and Paul Stanley to take on the first few overs.
I do actually have a dubious distinction of having the worst figures, I think, in Lancashire League T20 history.
You wouldn't have done a bit of catching at intake.
Me 1 for 49 off 2 overs at Tombard is I haven't seen it bettered yet, and it doesn't say in brackets on any scorecard that the fielders didn't assist, does it?
No.
On any bowling figures. And I always think that day if Finch had kept me on, I could have gone for 98 in 4 overs because I was going at 24.5 and over.
Oh, could be a wicket. Could be a wicket. No, it's just landed safe. Hawk bowling from the Liverpool Road end. I think it's. I'm not sure who the East Lancs player is, so my apologies.
It's West End Boyle. I don't think that's
Boyle.
his full name. I think too
Right.
bad.
Tried to work on my leg side. Looked like he got a top edge, but square leg and mid wicket. Tried the best of scampering and couldn't get there. And they come through for a single. So Hawk running into bowl. No, he's not. He's stopped because Ben's trying to change the field or a plane's landing.
What's the point in his shouting?
Hawk into bowl. It's a full length. Inside edge from the bat. No run.
How many did Francois finish up with in the end?
Just over.
He's the
Hawk
first,
into bowl.
he's the first Lowerhouse batsman to bat all 20 overs in a T20 at 3 and over. Well batted, Francois.
Flicked in the air for 4. Backward of square leg and wide of fine leg. It's the first boundary of the East Lancs innings. So
I've done Francois disservice there. 77 not out.
Jez is going for refreshments, which is fantastic. Doesn't look like there has been a change in the field. It's like Sims out, Hawk into bowl. It's a straightish ball, short of a good length, worked into mid wicket. They come through for a single. Looks like the end of the first over. Probably open up with Walker at the bottom end. Paul, would you agree?
They might open Parry.
Oh,
it
is
does tend to open. Oh no, it is. Yeah, it's Tom
Walker. Yeah, been quite impressed with from a bowling point of view, Paul. From a bowling point of view, Stanley, been quite impressed with Tom's start to the season.
Very impressed with Tom Walker. I think he's the sort of bowler he's always in the game, isn't he? He just attacks the stumps.
Yeah.
And he's just incredible for a young player. You know, you don't get many bad deliveries.
I think his run up as well. I think in a year's time he might be running up from end of Jez's Bonning.
Don't go that far for me already.
Into bowl. Oh, it's worked out. He's glide out to sort of wide third man. They come for 2. Was a bit short and wide. It was a bit of a loosener there from Walker there from Tom. So that's 2. Takes the score on to 8 for 1. Do you think there's a scope there for him? He's still quite a young lad, isn't he, Paul?
He is, yeah. Comes again.
So end of his run up. Comes running in. Tom Walker. Oh, there we go.
When he signed from Accrington, I was talking to Lawrence Snedden, Graham Snedden's dad, and he felt that he probably just needed another year at Accrington and the division below to carry on his development and help his batting. But you know, I'm glad for our sake that Tom's proved Lawrence wrong, really.
Yeah, he certainly has. Hit the ground running, hasn't he? Turns at the end of his run up. Tom running into bowl. It's a bit flat, so that's a great ball. It was just shaping away there, sort of squared the batsman up straight through Joey Martin. Bit of pace, bit of bounce, bit of movement. Not a bad knacker, Stanley.
It was a great delivery, yeah. Half an appeal. I'm wondering if he got a bit of pad on that, because it seemed to dolly through to Joe Martin, didn't it?
That's been a good start here from Tomo. Turns, running into bowl. Short, wide. It's been hit out to sort of straightish cover. Oh, it's been fumbled, and they come back for 2. So that takes the score on to, will it be 10 that? Yeah, 10 for 1.
Judging by the movement of a field at deep cover, that's Henry Cotton, because that was quick.
And he can move as well, can't he? Turns, comes in, short, straight. Oh, it's a bit of a strange shot from the batsman. He calls through for a quick single, bit of a...
Almost like it was beat for pace.
It was, yeah. Like it was trying to leave it, and it hit the bat. Bit of a Burnley Express / commando roll from Francois. Get to the chopper. Brings the left-hander on strike. Walking to straight. That's him. And they've took one to mid-wicket. He shouts at the stumps. Misses. They come through for a single. That was a 1 to Ben. I think we have a change in guest there. I think Paul's going for a refreshment break. And the one and only Chris Blizzard's coming back into the hot seat. Do you make it the start, Blez?
I think they've done okay. They've hit any loose balls. They've got away with it and punished a couple of wide deliveries. So they're certainly not behind their run rate, are they? They're 6 and over.
Hawk starting his second over. The fullest delivery. It's hit through cover point, and it's gone for 4. Not a bad shot, that, Blez.
No, quality shot. Obviously taking advantage of the fielding restrictions, and it's difficult going downhill to stop the ball once it's gone through. They've just left Henry out on the boundary edge now at cover point, so bit of protection over that side.
I think from a tactical point of view, Stan should leave them daisies on there and it might stop the ball. Anyway, Oki coming into ball. It's a fuller delivery. It's a because big shot played outside edge, swipe across the line, covers backpedaling. But you know, it's they come back for two. There's a chance for a run out to dive. It's all action. Stand by your beds. It's just a recap there. It was a swipe across the line for a full length delivery. Backpedaling didn't quite get there. They come back for a second with a chance for a run out, but the batsman made his ground after a full length dive. All in all, that takes them to score on to 18 for none.
No, they've made a pretty impressive start so far. These two hitting everything that is fair up to them.
Bit of shape there for him. Is he coming off a shorter run there, Bless?
He sort of reduced it over the last couple of years in any way, but I don't think it's his longest. Yeah.
Hawke back into ball. Oh, it's a shorter ball. It's a pull, and that's gone for one bounce for. Can't see because of the side screens, but it looks sort of through mid square leg really. A bit short from Hawke on that occasion. It kicks the floor. I say once of a day with regards to his run up, it'd have been peeling off Lowerhouse primary school, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Comes into lots of fuller length, driven to extra cover, no run.
Yeah, it's difficult. I think he's bowling against the wind. I think he's struggling to get the length right at the minute, but he's just, I think he's got the length there, which is going to be pretty full and in the block hole.
Okay, coming into bowl. It's a full length ball again, replica of the previous delivery. Hit at extra cover, no run. Ended over 22 for none.
Yeah, very good start for East Lancs. It's taking advantage of the fielding restrictions. Hopefully we can put a little bit of a break on in the next couple of overs before the fielders would like to get out of the circle. Looks like
Tom Walker's going to bowl another over, obviously from the car park end. Like I was saying to Stanley earlier, Blair's been really, really, really impressed watching Walker, especially if when he fills out over the next 18 months, it could be an extra half a yard.
Yeah, he's got a bit of pace about him already.
Comes into bowl, it's full, it's outside off stump, bit of shape. He's driven it through extra cover. It's along the carpet. It's gone for 4. That's a very good shot. That's a very good shot there from the East Lancs opener. Looked like he got a bit of shape on it there, Walker, but perhaps played on the up there.
Yeah, I think it just sort of like a little bit wide and a little bit of a long sort of half volley maybe, but it put away superbly.
And Walker turns at the end of his run up, running into bowl. So it's a bit of a pull shot. It's only gone to mid on. He picks it up first time, but they come through for a single.
Field's moving around again. The right hand, left hand causing a little bit of a problem with the field. Obviously, maybe a little bit of a problem for the bowlers in terms of their line. Be interesting to see if we in the next couple of overs change the pace a little bit. They're both sort of medium fast, these two, and maybe that's the easiest way to hit the ball on here.
Walker back into ball. It's a bit short outside off stump. It's guarded through backward point for 4. Very good shot, really. Not much foot movement, but to time it very well and use the pace on the ball, Blaze.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they'll be thinking now that it's using these two batters are using the pace of the ball. We might be thinking of either putting on a Toxie or a Paddy or even Pazza, just to take the pace off a little bit and see if we can make him hit through the field rather than using the pace.
Thank you, Jez. Jez has got me a pound, which is very much appreciated. Walker into ball. Oh, it's an outside edge. It was a big, expansive drive, looking to play it to their extra cover. It's an outside edge. It's gone through third man for 4. Taking the score on. Would that be 39, Blaise, or it's 35?
35. They've got it up pretty quickly. Yeah.
35 for none. It's a good start for East Lancs.
Yeah, they're certainly in the game at the moment. They're using this power play to their advantage, particularly.
What do you think? Change of pace here, Blaise, perhaps?
I think so. I think it'll be.
Put the onus back on the batter?
Yeah, to try and hit over the circle, perhaps.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if it wasn't Pazza or Toxie coming on from the park end.
Walker into bowl. It's wide outside the off stump. It's driven out to cover point just for a single. Change moves again as the right-hander's now back on strike. Sweeper goes out to deep cover. Probably 10 off. I think he'll be wanting to bowl outside off stump with this field, Blaise.
Yeah.
Walker running into ball. It's like he's going for a bit of pace there. It was an inside edge. It's just gone into square on the onside. Short fine legs just come round. Toxie has picked it up. That's the end of the over. That's 37 for none, which is a great start, bless you.
Yeah, 9 and over. They're sort of way above the required run rate at this stage.
Do you know much of these flanks are, bless?
No, I was just say these two are young lads. I think one of them's Nick Westhead's son, possibly the left-hander. And Niall Boyle has played a little bit, and can't say I've seen the names in the team for the last 3 or 4 years, but not really know a great deal about them. Bringing Francois on now from the park end, so maybe a little bit more of a thinking bowler, maybe changing pace a little bit, maybe bowling a few cutters as well.
Yeah, as Blaise says there, change of bowling from the Liverpool road end. Francois comes into bowl, a bit slow. So it starts with a dot ball, full length. Batsman tried to work it down behind square. Great take again by Joe Martin, who I do think's underrated, underappreciated perhaps.
Joe
Martin,
absolutely. T20 is not his favourite form of the game, as we've heard over the Housecast, but he's a fantastic keeper and does his job, perfectly well in this competition for us.
Frankie back into bowl. Full length ball played out into the offside. It's an easy single and brings the left-hander back in on strike, who I apologise for. It's difficult to know the opposition at times, the turnaround of players, etc., especially in a different division as well. I think it might be Smith, but I'm not 100% sure. So again, apologies.
Just got a superhero going past us there.
Matt Stansfield close on.
Just changing the sight screen. Francois going round the wicket to the left-hander.
Be difficult from a club point of view, Blaise, if there's any vandalism to the materials. Perhaps we could use Stan Eaton's underpants, perhaps.
Don't think we've got enough scaffolding for those.
No, perhaps not. Perhaps not.
Work round to the leg side. Team Barlow cuts it off on the square leg boundary. Another single to the left-hander.
There's a total of 39 for none. Okay, Francois into Westhead. It's a dot ball played and missed outside the off stump. It's through to Martin. He's stood up to Francois. That he's done. Does a lot these days. You wouldn't have thought that in his Francois' first season, would you?
Well, certainly not his first season, but when he came back for his second season, I think, as per usual, bowling his full 25 overs. I think he found it tough.
Full length ball from Frankie, driven to mid off just for a single to Benny, the skipper at mid off there. Frankie will be hoping that a certain Paddy player isn't in the East Lancs. Jimmy Gray hasn't been drafted into the East Lancs lineup.
Hasn't got a transfer as sub-pro.
House insurance premiums went up that night. There's a full length ball from Francois to Boyle. It played into the onside at mid wicket for no run.
Much better over for us there. Four runs off that. Yeah, so great over from Francois. I think I've just checked the score. It was just 3 singles off that, so that's brought this run rate down to 8 and over. So a little bit more in our favour, and we have got Pazza coming on from the pavilion end.
This is the game right here that I think, Les. You'd have thought that his 4 overs wouldn't go for many.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if he bowls all 4.
Absolutely. But over, it turns into a 16 over game, perhaps, doesn't it? From a position point of view.
I think he'd be hoping to take a couple of victims in his first 2 overs, and that will slow the run rate down.
Interesting to see if 1 or 2 grip. Did you go out and have a look at the wicket?
Didn't have a look at the wicket, but I presume it's the one that was played on last week, judging by the square.
Parry comes into bowls, first ball. Worked into the onside. We can't see because of the side screen. Deep mid wicket comes round, picks it up first time. Overthrows.
Buzzers.
It wasn't a throw in. Backing up missed it as well. So from a simple clip into the leg side,
3 runs.
The 3 runs are scored, which brings James Westhead onto strike. Obviously, with being left-handed, the field's changing. I don't think that'll done Parry's mood any favours, really, Blaise?
Well, no, he's pretty phlegmatic. He's Pazza. He won't worry too much about it.
Parry comes into bowl. Oh, it's a decent, it's a little deflection. Cute guide to short third man there from Westhead. It's only a single low. Great fielding by a diving Benny there. Brings Boyle onto strike. Parry back into bowl. Oh, that looks like it's turned. Pitch pretty straight there, probably Midland leg Blaise, and it looks like it's turned from the shot.
Used the wind as well to hold it up. It looked like
Yeah.
it was going down the leg side to start with, but it's held up in the wind and it's also turned.
Very end of his run up, comes into bowl to the right hander.
Bowled
Again,
him.
he's bowled him. It was a full length delivery, and it looks like it's grip turned. Looks like it was trying to work it into the onside, and it's disturbed the furniture there from Parry. So Lowerhouse have got the first wicket. That's 44 for 1 into the 6 over. Perhaps that might be a decent breaking play for a change of no. Jez is still hobnobbing, the socialite that he is. So we'll carry on for the rest of the over.
I think Jeremy Agnew's signing autographs outside the van.
I think Jerry Agnew's posing for photos. It might have been a decent change there, but
with the left-hander coming in,
so it looks like the pro, yeah. So back coming in for number 3 for East Lancs, it's the sub-professional Sonal Dinusha. Bit of abuse coming in for Chris Blizzard there.
I'm not sure Francois appreciated that shape from Charlie Cotton there.
The most successful Lowerhouse captain handing abuse out to Francois Hasbrook. There might be some disciplinary action taken by the club, but we'll move on.
And he's blaming Eliza.
So
great time for a first wicket there, Blaise.
Absolutely, just what was needed. Be good to try and get the pro under a bit of pressure now. A couple of tight overs.
Decent start from East Lancs. This is the game, pro to pro. Small in stature, Dinusha, left-hander. Parry comes into bowl. First ball. Short outside off stump. It's just played into the offside for 1. Takes the total to 45 for 1.
2 left-handers, so the field doesn't have to move.
Parry into bowl. Full delivery outside off stump. Worked into the offside by Westhead. No run. End of the over. Cheers for that, Blaise. Change of host and guest. Jeremy Oak will be coming in.
Thanks, Gav. Great performance again. You keep the ship together, keep us on a straight course, no deviating around when Gav's in charge. So here we go. East Lancs in reply. 45 for 1, 6 overs. We've got a young lad in who's got so many stories. Great to have you in, Aggers. Is it going? Have you been on all the game?
All right, thanks, Jez. Yes, I've been on since the start.
Brilliant, that's great.
It's shaping up to be a good game. 112 needed off 14 overs. Obviously, pro's just come in, so this is going to be the wicket to get.
It is, without a doubt. Francois runs into ball from the Liverpool Road end to the professional. Sonal Dinusha plays a late cut, but with a lot of...
Gordon, send more house to save the house.